Yes. Oh, it is. It is another episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We are with you live here on a Tuesday. It is a terrible take Tuesday. We'll be airing out some terrible takes around 12:30 in between our two guests today. Loaded as usual on a Tuesday. Brady Hawk is going to join us. We are less than 2 weeks away from Heat Media Day, exactly 2 weeks away from the start of Heat training camp. We're going to get down to business with Mr. Hawk at 12:15. We're going to get down to lots of business on the Miami Dolphins and the NFL throughout the show today, but that includes 12:40 p.m. when Juan Cardona of One on One here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network is going to join us. Cardona has been elusive. Very busy guy. He's got kids. He works during the day. I've been trying to get this dude on Donno Daily for like 2 months, basically since we started. I've been hitting up Juan like every week. The guy's always busy. He's finally able to make some time for us today, so we're going to do that. Folks, I want to remind you that every episode of Donno Daily is served by the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. Make this your spot all throughout football season. On college football Saturdays and on NFL Sundays, they've got the 5 for $15 ice-cold buckets. Imported beer, Heineken family of beers, High Noon hard seltzer, mix and match them. 5 for $15 ice-cold buckets all Saturday and Sunday at the Quarterdeck. You can watch all the games on the flat screen, gigantic TVs covering every wall. They have big screens out there at the locations as well. So check it out at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The seafood is so fresh. The buffalo shrimp is my favorite appetizer. The burgers and sandwiches are delicious. 2-for-1 happy hour is all day, every day. If you want to peep their menu before you go or find the location nearest to you, visit quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And the official sports book of Donno Daily, BetUS.com. We hit Raiders +4 yesterday. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Life is back on, sports bettors. BetUS has your NBA, NHL, UFC, PGA, and yes, NFL betting lines. This is their 27th season doing pro football. They have live betting on all of it. Log on to betus.com or call 1-800-792-3887 and sign up with our code 5RSN125, and you get a 125% sign-up bonus. Customer service pros are ready to get your phone, social, and online sports betting kickoff started now. Play with the proven mainstay in the sports industry. BetUS. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. God, I'm so glad I invested my time plus overtime last night to watching Monday Night Football. That was crazy. And the Manning brothers feed, low-key, a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be. Because I tuned into the Manning brothers feed like first few minutes of the game, and I got kind of bored. I flipped over to the regular broadcast. I got kind of just not bored by the game, but kind of bored by the announcing. And then I flipped back in the second half to the Mannings, and they were getting loose. Charles Barkley was on with them in the first half talking about his sports bets. That was really good. And the game was absolutely insane. You get the walk-off touchdown in overtime from Derek Carr to Zay Jones. You know, you had in regulation the 47-yarder for the Ravens you thought was the winner. The Raiders get the 55-yarder to tie it up. The Raiders are driving it overtime. They throw an interception in the red zone. They get it right back with a fumble, and then they end up getting the walk-off touchdown. That was insane. If you missed the drama of that fourth quarter and overtime, and the Raiders in that game, they were down 14-0. They were down 70-10. They managed to get it done. Unfreaking believable drama. This was an excellent week 1 in the National Football League, and we won our bet on betus.com on the Raiders last night, so that was fantastic. Something I'm noticing, guys. Oh, and Brooklyn Rob points out the mush actually won a bet. Even a blind squirrel eventually finds a nut. Hello to Brooklyn Rob. Hello to Ryan. Hello to Ninja Viking. Hello to Ray, who goes by G.A. Kane fan. Hello to David. Hello to everybody who's hopping in the live chat early and often here on 5 Reasons Sports. And guys, make sure, whether you're watching us live right now or you watch us replay later on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button. Smash the like button and subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. So I've noticed something that even though if you look at the power rankings, NFL power rankings after week 1, everybody's rating the Dolphins anywhere between 15 to 20. They're not getting a whole lot of respect. There's not a whole lot of belief in this team coming out of week one. Some people are actually higher on the Patriots than they are on the Dolphins after the Dolphins went into Foxborough and beat them. But I noticed something, that the power rankings that go by mathematical formulas and computers believe in the Dolphins more than the actual human beings do. Because computers, until they become self-aware and destroy us all, computers do not have a bias. Human beings do. Okay, but if you look at metrics like the ESPN FPI, they now give the Dolphins a 68% chance to make the playoffs. The Football Outsiders 2021 NFL playoff odds report has the Dolphins now at a 67.3% likelihood of making the postseason. A lot of these same metrics had us around or just above 50% before the season started. And guys, to me, and before I get into my take on why the media is going to continue to sleep on the Miami Dolphins, and you know what? I like it. I like it because I have no problem when you've got a young team and a very young quarterback and, a head coach who's only his third year as a head coach after flying under Bill Belichick's wing for so long. You'd probably rather fly under the radar, like be the team flying under the radar, not getting talked about as much, not getting praises heaped on you, I should say, throughout the season until people finally realize you're good. But I was reading this USA Today power ranking. It ranked the Dolphins 14th coming out of week one, just one spot ahead of New England, who they beat on the road. But what they actually wrote about Miami was a little bit curious to me. Tua earns another week, they say, hopefully. That's their words. Tua owns another week. Tua earns another week, hopefully, after a performance that didn't require a ton of criticism. The second-year quarterback was 16 of 27 in an offense that had new looks. It also had the second victory over the Patriots for Tagovailoa, who has Miami in first place alone in the AFC East. Next versus Bills. But that first sentence, it tells you everything you need to know. Tua earns another week, hopefully. What does that mean? Earns another week, hopefully? Are you telling me that he's on the hot seat every single week and that they might bench him for Jacoby Brissett to come in and do more than quarterback sneaks? Like, I don't understand that sentence. He earns another week, hopefully. Am I unaware about a midweek trade that's going to go down for Deshaun Watson to come in this week? Am I unaware that Flores is going to say, you know what, screw it, Jacoby Brissett is our starter, I've seen enough? This is weird. G.A. Canes fan, Brooklyn Rob writes, if we want respect, beat Buffalo and we crack the top 10. I'll get to that in a moment. G.A. Canes fan, by the way, disagrees with my assessment. The computers are not biased. He says computers have a bias because they are programmed by humans. I think you got me there. Chris Adams writes, Donno, they won't be sleeping on us next week after we beat the Bills 31-28 and take a commanding lead in the AFC East, soon to be the AFC Ease for Miami. I like that. Now, the bottom line is, guys, and this is why they're sleeping on us right now. The media has dug themselves into such a trench now with the Tua Tagovailoa hate that I think it's going to take a while. It might even take longer than this weekend before they either admit that they're wrong about the Dolphins or they just pretend that they never said anything negative in the first place. That is sometimes the move. I've seen people like Stephen A. Smith and like Max Kellerman and Skip Bayless pull off that move before, where they'll have a ridiculous take on one side of the fence, and then as soon as they change their mind, it's like the other thing never even happened. So it would not surprise me, okay? They'll just keep digging in their heels, though, for right now. So apparently Tua is so terrible. Our guy Alfredo Arteaga pointed out on Twitter yesterday, and he pointed out on this show yesterday, that Skip Bayless essentially called Tua Tagovailoa the worst quarterback in the NFL. Called him the worst quarterback in the NFL on whatever you call that, Hold My Bad Take, or whatever show he's on Fox Sports 1. So Tua apparently is so terrible. And yet so far in his National Football League career, he's got the winning record, 7-3. He's completed 64% of his passes and has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Do those sound like the statistics of the worst quarterback in the league? Do those sound like the stats of an NFL bust? Right? And I thought Alfredo made a good point with us yesterday that the Dolphins, they were outcoached on Sunday, even though they did make more plays and they won the game. In terms of adjustments, Belichick did outcoach Brian Flores. The Dolphins offense, they looked unstoppable in their scripted opening drives of the first quarter and of the third quarter. And they struggled a little bit more in others when the Patriots adjusted better than they did. Now, I've seen a lot of people say this in the chat so far, and I'm not sure that I completely agree. So if the Dolphins can beat the Bills at home this Sunday, that's the next opponent, the defending AFC East champs. They went 13-3 last year. Bills were the class of the division, one of the best teams in the AFC last year, highest scoring team in the NFL last year. If the Dolphins can beat the Bills at home on Sunday, yes, that would be massive. The Dolphins would essentially have a 2.5 game lead over Buffalo in the AFC East because they'd be 2-0. Buffalo would be 0-2. The Dolphins would have the head-to-head. So that's essentially a 2.5 game lead over the Bills. But I'm telling you, and maybe I should have brought the tinfoil hat with me again for this episode. I think my wife threw it out. She was like, "What the hell is this?" There you go. Thank you. Manny has it ready. So pretend I have my tinfoil hat on. I still, guys, unless the Dolphins do something so convincing this Sunday, even if they win the game, if they win a close game, I still don't think the Dolphins would get truly respected if they're able to squeak one out against Buffalo at home this weekend. And I say that because the Bills did not look good this past weekend. They got upset. They were a touchdown favorite, a 6.5-point favorite. They got upset at home by the Pittsburgh Steelers this past week. If the Dolphins narrowly beat them in Miami, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen with the narrative come next Monday. People will make that narrative more about what's wrong with the Bills than what did the Dolphins do right to win that game. Why are the Bills regressing from last year? What's wrong with Buffalo? Those would be the narratives. I'm telling you, since Buffalo lost their opening game, if Buffalo had gone out there and smashed Pittsburgh week 1, and then the Dolphins beat them this coming Sunday, yeah, I think the Dolphins get full credit. But with the Bills having a really tough opening and with their quarterback, Josh Allen, not looking good at all in the first week, I think if the Dolphins get a victory over them this Sunday, that narrative is going to be a lot more about Buffalo than it's going to be about Miami. And then after that, the Dolphins play Vegas in Vegas. They had a crazy one last year. Vegas just had a crazy one last night. So that might end up being a wild game. I don't know if they beat Vegas, I don't know if that's going to sell anybody on the Dolphins. Then they have Indianapolis at home. That looks like a winnable game, I think. Anyway, so here's what's got to happen, guys. And I'm not guaranteeing a 4-0 record heading into week 5 by any stretch of the imagination. But if you're looking for the victory the Dolphins need to get to convince the doubters this team is for real and to convince the doubters this quarterback can actually play, week 5, that's the one you circle on your calendar. That's the one where the Dolphins have the opportunity to truly silence the critics and show people they mean business, man. That is a very tough game on the road at the defending Super Bowl champ Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not saying I expect the Dolphins to win it, though they'd probably be probably a 6.5 point underdog at least in that game. But I don't think the Fins will get big-time respect from the critics unless they can beat Tampa Bay on the road. That is how you get respect. Justin writes in, Waller is scary AF. Not sure that that's a lock for winning more. Yeah, I wasn't saying the Raiders game is a lock. I wasn't saying that. And Waller went wild on the Dolphins last year. I think he had well over 100 receiving yards in that game. He was problematic. So no, I'm not saying the Raiders game is an automatic win. I'm just saying I don't think that would automatically get respect for the Dolphins if they win it. Chris Adams writes in, everyone in the media loves flashing numbers and big place. The only way we'll get respect is with a different quarterback or for Tua, put up 300 plus yards and 3+ touchdowns and look like Pat Mahomes. Yeah. And you know what? Tua, you remember last season, when Tua went up against Pat Mahomes, he went toe-to-toe with him. I mean, the Dolphins lost to Kansas City last year in a shootout where Tua played very well. And for 2 days, people were giving Tua credit, and then they completely forgot about it after that. Manny, I think, writes in the chat, issues with the Bills is not defense, it's offense. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it's the issue with their offense. So listen, I just hope if the Dolphins find a way to win that game on Sunday, that people give the Dolphins the credit they deserve instead of just saying what's wrong with Buffalo. Ricky J. Mark says, just came on here to say that the Eagles suck and anyone that's a fan of them should be canceled immediately. Cancel Manny. Cancel Manny Chang. All right, let's go out to the guest line. We have our first guest of the day. We'll circle back to the Dolphins, but I want to devote some time to the Miami Heat because you talk about sneaking up on us, my friends. Just when you started to think, oh, college football, pro football, what else do I need in my life? I'll tell you what else I need in my life. Miami Heat basketball. We are exactly 2 weeks away from the first training camp practice. 13 days away from media day. Andrew Green, thank you, sir, for the donation. He says, who cares if the Dolphins keep winning? I'm with you, bro. I would rather fly under the radar. I would rather be the hunter than the hunted. Let's bring in Brady Hawk now from the 5 Reasons Sports Network, who does such an excellent job covering the Miami Heat on the website. Brady, first things first, man. This past weekend was loaded with sports, pro football, college football. We also had the Chris Bosh Hall of Fame induction and the tremendous speech. How much did you enjoy that, my friend? And how much did you love it? Did you get a little emotional when I did, when he gave the ring back to Pat Riley? I was crying like I did at the end of Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I think that was the one part of the whole speech that everybody came away with. I think it's just, we always talk about Chris Bosh off the floor, just how, he's so active in so many different areas. I think that was the definition of Chris Bosh off the floor. Just seeing him deliver a speech, be such a well-spoken individual to just actually deliver that message and be able to take that moment with Pat Riley sitting next to him and give him the ring that he gave him originally. I think that's just timing. That's just Chris Bosh. So I would agree. That was definitely the moment from that speech that I think everybody walked away with and was like, that was a great speech.
Now, who's the dude, how I'll ask it this way, because I think at least one of these guys is definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. How many future Hall of Famers do you think are playing on the Miami Heat right now? Because I'm assuming Jimmy is going to get in. At least I think Jimmy gets in. And then obviously Bam has the talent. If Lowry gets another ring in Miami, do you think he gets in? How many Hall of Famers are on this team right now?
Yeah, I would say right now I'd probably say 2. I would probably say Kyle and Jimmy. I think I think people are hopeful it would be Bam in the future.
Yeah.
But no way you're putting that much of expectations out of this soon. But I would definitely say Kyle getting the ring in Toronto, I think, is pretty much a staple that there's a pretty good shot. And obviously Jimmy, if he gets a ring, it's pretty much wraps for him getting in there as well. So we'll kind of see what happens. Maybe some other guys can emerge. Just a couple of the young guys as the hopeful fan. Maybe Max Strus, maybe Omer Yurtseven.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's just those 2.
We're joined here by Brady Hawk on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. So I know that you're always tracking what the next 2-way contract is going to be. The Heat have given out the 10 days, the training camp contracts. Who do you think is going to end up getting that second 2-way deal?
Yeah, if I had to guess right now, I've been pretty consistent since the beginning. I think it's going to be DJ Stewart. A couple of reasons. I think, one, you kind of got an indication of how soon they wanted to grab him. He didn't get a ton of playing time. Like, he got some spot starts, he got minutes, but I feel like there's a reason they got him so early. DJ Stewart, among the group that they signed to Summer League, was the one that was different from the rest. Everybody else was defensive-minded point guards, facilitators. You didn't really know about their offensive game. DJ Stewart and RJ Nembhard, who ended up going, I think it was to Chicago or Cleveland, he was the one that was the scorer. And if you're looking at Miami's second 2-way, they need a scoring wing. And DJ Stewart kind of fits that mold. Good mid-range player. He has a good driving game. We don't really know about the outside shot. He wasn't used much of it, but he's an on-ball player who was put in an off-ball role in Summer League. And I think once they kind of get an eye on him in training camp, see what they have in him, and then they can kind of move forward. But obviously after getting Marcus Garrett, I think they're going to have to go in that direction. And even if there are some talented players, they're going to try to look for the guy that's a win now type of player that you can plug and play at the moment. They're not looking for a high ceiling. They're looking for high floor. And I think a couple of these guys that you saw signed, fit that category as well.
There is nobody who will get you more prepared from an X's and O's standpoint for Heat season than the man we're talking to right now, Brady Hawk. And I encourage you, if you go to 5reasonsports.com, you're going to see several stories. Brady has written a lot of preview pieces for what we can expect from individual players. One of the latest one, Brady, is on Bam Adebayo. Now, this, to me, it's fascinating for Bam this season because not only do we have his own development to look at, but you're also giving him an elite point guard in Kyle Lowry. So how is that going to affect Bam's game? And I like the title of your piece, Balancing Lowry Enhancements and Pure Takeover. So what do you think is going to be the bigger factor? Is it going to be Bam's pure takeover and his development, or is it going to be benefiting from playing off Lowry?
Yeah, I think the Lowry factor is pretty much a given. We know what Kyle Lowry brings to a center, especially one that's as talented as Bam Adebayo. He's going to get his lob opportunities that he got in his rookie and second year in the league, where he was a rim runner. Now he's going to get back to that a little bit more opportunities. You're going to see him playing off the catch a bit more because you have that extra playmaker, a guy that can get fed down low a little bit more because they got that extra driver. Other than Jimmy, now you have somebody that can put a little bit of pressure on the rim. But the balance is that they're going to have to, I think the more important part is that he's going to have to take over a little bit more. That's the one element I think that's in question. We all know that he can do it. Jimmy would talk about it game after game, that he's pretty much unguardable when he's playing like that. When he's driving to the basket in ISO, taking guys off the dribble, pulling with confidence, that's when he's at his best. It just comes down to, will he do it enough? And I think we know the roles of a lot of these guys. They're going to be simplified a lot more with the addition of Kyle Lowry. I think Bam Adebayo is the X factor here, that he's going to be doing so many different things, put in so many different roles that they're going to have him flying all over the place. And I think that's important for him. I think when he has a lot on his plate, he can kind of make instinctive decisions a little bit more, do what he likes to do because he's such a talented player. And like I said, I think we always talk about the wild card being Victor Oladipo coming back from injury, but I think the true wild card is just Bam Adebayo flourishing and taking over a little bit more.
Now, another wild card, although I'm not really too optimistic about him stepping up, and this is a player you've written about since the last time we had you on, is KZ Okpala. And you were asked a question about this. You answered it in one of your latest columns from Ian. He said, should the Heat stop him from trying to be a better rim attacker and just focus on 3 and D? He's got the D, just not the 3. If he just focused on corner threes, would he crack the rotation quicker? Do you think Ian's on to something there?
Yeah, definitely. I think we know he has the defensive capabilities. Like, we've seen it. Team defense is not at its best, but that comes along with playing time. He just has the on-ball qualities. That's why they liked him. That's why they jumped up in the draft to try to get him. And that's what makes him a talent. The questions that come is the offensive stuff. We've seen year after year, there's been no real improvement. And I think the issue is that he's trying to find so many different ways to be impactful on that end of the floor. He tries to drive. He tries to do off-ball cuts. But none of that's really in his wheelhouse, that he's not very talented in that area. He doesn't have the ability to get by defenders. He doesn't have great touch around the rim, where he hasn't been a great shooter from the outside. But I think if there's one area he wants to improve on and just totally drill and work on, it's the 3. Because if he can have a consistent 3, and like said in the question, if it's just a corner 3 and he's just a semi corner spacer, then he's definitely going to have a better shot at cracking the rotation. I think they wanted it to be more of a competition this year, that he can crack the rotation, but obviously the offensive stuff means it's not getting to that point. But we'll see what happens. I think we keep talking about project. I think if it comes down to it, I think they probably would give him up to get something back if the right thing came along. But it's just that it is another wild card, as you said, because if he can develop that and can be used as a plug-and-play guy, a guy they've really liked, then I think they have something.
Yeah, speaking of wild cards, there was a report last week that Victor Oladipo could actually be ready months earlier than we expected. I think even as early as December, I was reading. How much of a factor would that be, Brady? Because we kind of been operating under the, how do you sort of keep things together at his position before he arrives, maybe February, March? If he can be ready by December, how much of a boost can that give the Heat for regular season wins and playoff seeding?
Yeah, I think I've been pretty much talking about the backcourt of Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo off the bench is pretty dynamic. But I feel like the one question I've had about is would they have enough chemistry getting up to that point where you can run it in the playoffs and feel comfortable with it? If he's returning that soon and getting in the game that soon off the bench with Tyler, you're going to feel really comfortable up to playoff time when you have those two off the bench. Like I've said before, I think there's not a better fit next to Tyler than Victor Oladipo, a guy that can create his own shot, which he needs, a guy that can defend at a very high level, which he needs, and allow Tyler just to do what he does best. And like I brought up in the past, I think Victor Oladipo, when he comes back from injury, you always see an increased catch and shoot number.
Yeah.
So that's kind of beneficial for Tyler as well. You're going to put the ball in his hands a ton, putting Victor off the ball, telling him to just be more of a spot up guy early on, develop kind of his game, his speed, everything that comes along with coming back from injury. You kind of see what happens, but it's definitely a wild card. If you can get Victor Oladipo back that early with the squad you have, even if he's not at 100%, which I don't think anybody's really expecting, if he's at 70%, you can very much use him. I feel like Gabe Vincent can do his job. I think they're comfortable with him early on, but there's definitely a much higher comfort level when you have Victor Oladipo at 70% running your offense.
Training camp starts in 2 weeks, and despite what the haters may think, it is another season for Udonis Haslam. You know, I always need to turn at least part of these Miami Heat chats into my Udonis Haslam, my pro Udonis Haslam agenda, because I'm a huge fan of his. Brady, what do you expect to see from UD in training camp? Does he approach practices like a guy who's expecting to play 44 minutes, or is it more like a guy that knows he may play 5 minutes all season?
Yeah, I think Udonis Haslam's going to be 70 years old, and he's going to be approaching – he's going to be waking up in the morning, going to these hard training camps, no matter the circumstance. So I think definitely he's going to be preparing for high minutes. That's just always how he is. As much as he prepares for it, and I think that's how he is, I don't think he's going to get anything close to any minutes this season. I think people were saying that maybe he can get thrown in there a little bit more after we've seen him perform at a decent level. He's competent. But this team has done a total 180 in terms of roster construction. They went from really heavy in the backcourt to now they're very heavy in the front court, where if there was a year for Udonis Haslam to get thrown in there in some spot minutes in a COVID season where guys are constantly getting out, it was definitely last season, where now you're going to, if guys go out, you feel comfortable throwing in a guy like Omer Yurtseven, KZ Okpala, obviously you want to try to see there. So I feel like there's not enough room for him to get thrown in there comfortably. Unless you're looking for some technical fouls and 6 fouls in 2 minutes, then maybe that's the way they go. And obviously, like I said before, if they're playing the Lakers, then I definitely expect minutes from him when Dwight Howard gets out there on the floor. So other than that, that's the only usage I kind of see from him.
That's all that I ask. I just want to see him bully Dwight Howard again. Ricky J. Mark knew what was coming. He said, "Oh, great. Here comes the agenda." You know, I got to admit, I feel so dumb. I did not know this, if this is true. Rafa in Miami writes in, "Happy birthday, Jimmy Butler." Can you confirm that, Brady? Today's Jimmy's birthday?
Yes, it is.
Wow, I'm so bad. Like, I'm bad with anybody's birthday. I remember my own. I remember my wife's. I remember my son's. Every now and then I remember my parents' birthdays, but nobody else, bro. I'm not one of these people who wishes everybody like 10 happy birthdays per day. I don't check all the birthdays. I don't care. But I guess happy birthday, Jimmy, now that I've completely downplayed it. Brady Hawk is with us here from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Brady, before we let you run, you brought up to me in a recent episode, you're a big football fan as well, big fantasy football player. How are your teams doing so far, man? I went 2-0.
Yeah, I'm 1-0 as well. I started out the year good. I will say Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett pretty much saved me. They had big games for me. Other than that, we'll see what happens. I have Alvin Kamara. He didn't get a bunch of touches. He played decent, but obviously Jameis Winston was throwing the ball around, getting a bunch of touchdowns. So I feel comfortable. I feel like we'd be at the top of the league if I was in your league right now. So I'm comfortable.
Hey, you know who led me to one of my victories? I'm in 2 leagues. Tommy Brady. God bless him. That's the other agenda that I have. I think, I don't know, it's because I'm getting older. I'm still in my 30s, so I'm not as old as some of these athletes. But since I'm getting older, I think my agenda is like pro elderly athlete. It's why I prop up UD, and I am a huge fan of Tom Brady. I'm glad he's not a Patriot anymore, because I had to kind of hide in the shadows for 19 years. Like when I was a Brady fan and he was playing in New England, I had to sort of pretend, no, I don't really like this guy. Don't even worry about it. So I can be completely outright with my Tommy Brady agenda. But he led me to victory week 1, so I can't ask for anything more. Guys, you want to make sure you are following this man right now. If you're a Miami Heat fan, even if you're not, if you're an NBA fan, you get so much content, so many great breakdowns from Brady Hawk. Check him out on Twitter at BradyHawk305 and check out his work on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thank you so much, Brady. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
I love it. And of course, Brady knew, not me, that it was Jimmy Butler's birthday. Rafa in Miami knew that as well. I feel completely upstaged. Guys, let's get into it. Is Tuesday, and we're going to use this to springboard back into some Miami Dolphins talk. It is time for Terrible Take Tuesday. And Terrible Take Tuesday is brought to you by our good friends, and there's nothing terrible about these individuals. You Break Wheel Fix in North Miami, conveniently located in North Miami. So no matter where you are in South Florida, it's not far away. Mark and his repair and refinishing techs have over 20 years of experience. They are dedicated to providing high-quality repairs for cracked, bent, or damaged rims and wheels. They get the job done quickly, and they get the job done right. And if you talk to anyone who has been to You Break Wheel Fix, you get nothing but satisfied customers. 5-star reviews on Google and Yelp. Everyone I've spoken to who has gotten their wheels serviced at You Break have nothing but nice things to say. They get your job done quickly, and if you have a job that does require some time, they will give you loaner wheels to put on your vehicle while they're customizing yours. They love our local sports teams. That's another thing that I love about You Break. It's how I became aware of them in the first place. South Florida sports unites people, right? So I became aware of You Break when I started looking at their awesome Instagram posts and Twitter posts where they trick out these vehicles, right? You know, you might have a Lamborghini with these fire wheels from You Break, or you can get your wheels tricked out in South Florida sports colors. You want the aqua and orange Dolphin wheels. They're going to do them up so nice for you. Orange and green Canes wheels, pink and black Inter Miami, Miami Heat wheels. They can customize them in any color combinations, thousands of combinations. So you support your teams in style. So whether you need repairs or you just want to pimp out your wheels, call them at 305-748-0112 or visit them on the web, youbreakwheelfix.com, and tell them 5 Reasons Sports sent you. So, man, we're going to have let's start completely off the beaten path before we circle into football on this episode of Terrible Take Tuesday. Just pull up for me this Nicki Minaj tweet. This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Nicki Minaj, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. Oh my God. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Now, I'm not trying to get into a vax debate. That's not my intention here. I am vaxxed, though, by the way, for those wondering. But, dude, this is hilarious. So her cousin's friend in Trinidad, he got swollen balls from the vaccine, supposedly. I'm sure it wasn't from the vaccine. Bro, instead of talking about the vax, tell your cousin's friend to get tested for chlamydia. That doesn't sound to me like a vaccine issue. Sounds to me like your man picked up an STD. And maybe that's why his fiance called off the wedding. Maybe that's why. Ricky J. Mark, tell me you caught an STD and lied about it without telling me you caught an STD and lied about it. I mean, dude, he might have syphilis. He might have chlamydia. I don't know this by experience, but I actually did. I went on WebMD before the show because I'm practically a doctor. You can trust me on this. Much higher probability that Nikki's cousin's friend has an STD than a vaccine side effect. Oh, my God. So, and I think Nicki Minaj might have accidentally outed this guy, right? Because now everyone knows what a liar he is. Let's move on. We'll move on to football. Sorry, this is not a side effect of the vaccine. Oh, my God. Okay, well, let's move on here to this tweet by Alfredo Arteaga. We had to air this one out. This is something Skip Bayless said yesterday on Speak for Yourself. Swollen balls. Use ball toner from Manscaped. Yes. Way to tie it into a 5 Reasons sponsor. 20% off. Use the code 5RSN. What a beautiful thing. Look at the synergy that we can create on this show. It does sound like a Manscaped ad. Oh my God. But Alfredo Arteaga tweeted this out. Skip Bayless in rare hater mode today on Tua. He is a soft armor that is not very accurate or mobile. So essentially, Skip thinks Tua is the worst quarterback in football. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fake take. And we have a tweet from Skip Bayless himself here to follow that up. He says, man, if Belichick can't beat Tua in the home opener, he's got problems. I predicted he'd go with Mac Jones and cut Cam. Mac is more Belichick style, he says. but I believe Cam would have scored more than 16 today and won this game. So you got to love the dagger there, the little shot that he fired. If Belichick can't beat Tua in the home opener, he's got problems. Now, Cam Newton did beat the Dolphins in the opener last year, but if you watch that game on Sunday, the Patriots didn't have a quarterback problem. Okay. I mean, Mac Jones looked pretty good. Maybe Skip is thinking that Cam would have executed a little bit better in the red zone than Mac did, but come on, guys. That was not the problem. The Dolphins won that game. Oh, this, by the way, look at this tweet from CNBC. This is just a terrible take. It's a terrible idea is what this is. Lab-grown woolly mammoths could walk the earth in 6 years if geneticist new startup succeeds. Why? Why are we trying to do this? Have you not watched every Jurassic Park movie? There's like 50 of them. What good has ever come out of reviving extinct species, especially gigantic ones? First, you're bringing back woolly mammoths. What are we bringing back then? T-Rexes? Velociraptors? Oh my God, this is how the world is going to end. It's not the nuclear stuff. We're going to destroy ourselves, bringing back animals that are extinct for a reason. We could not coexist with these animals for a reason. You want to bring back the woolly mammoth? Good luck, bro. I want to be the first kid on my block to own a T-Rex. God, if my son asks for one of those, I will not allow him to have one. I do not have nearly enough space in my backyard for a T-Rex. He can have one of the spitting ones, the Dilophosaurus. He can have one of those. They're vegetarians. Relax, says Justin Janes. Did not know that. Yeah, but I still feel like you're opening Pandora's box. You bring back woolly mammoth. What if you accidentally have some Velociraptor DNA that was mixing in the genetic soup with the woolly mammoth, and you bring back this is going to end badly. I'm telling you, this is going to end badly. Now, the final terrible take here. I saved the worst for last, all right? This is a New England Patriots blog, musketfire.com. They are the SB Nation, the fan-sided affiliate for the New England Patriots. Patriots, J.C. Jackson, that's the Patriots corner. J.C. Jackson's savage post-game quote proves the Patriots still know they're in Tua's head. That fan base is so drunk off of their 20-year dynasty, they're still hungover from it. Okay, Tua, they're in Tua's head. They're into the same Tua Tagovailoa that's 2-0 against the New England Patriots in his NFL career. They're into his head. You got to hear this, by the way. I'm going to read a little bit of this story for you. This is written by Adam Weinrib. He's been drinking too much wine, this Adam Weinrib. After a devastating week 1 loss decided by a Damian Harris fumble and the Miami Dolphins red zone defense, he says 2 high variance, hard to repeat outcomes. So he's taken away all credit to the Dolphins for the victory. So no, that was lucky, right? If you play the game 100 times, the New England Patriots win 99 of those times. Those are unrepeatable, hard to repeat outcomes. He says Patriots fans still seem largely joyful. He said, you want to know why? They have a kid quarterback who eats pressure for breakfast. Just one start into his NFL career. The Dolphins, he says, starting year 2, we're not exactly sure what they have. And the Pats defense seems to have their guy pegged. Oh, they have their guy so pegged that he's undefeated against them. If not for Harris's critical gaffe, the Patriots would have played this game perfectly, he said. Sure, they turned a few 7-point opportunities into only 3, but they kept the pocket clean for Jones, who typically made the right decision, and stayed just behind Miami, pressuring Tua Tagovailoa until he finally short-circuited and placed a 50-50 ball up for grabs. And J.C. Jackson, by the way, the Patriots corner, who is just whining. This guy sounds like such a bitch. But he said, quote, he added on Tua's interception, that's what Tua do. If he doesn't have his first read, he's just going to throw the ball up. If he doesn't have his first read, he's just going to throw the ball up. That's the opposite of what Tua do, bro. I mean, if anything, Tua was going through too many reads last year because he made one mistake in this game. Tua is not throw the ball up for grabs guy. He's got a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio so far as in his NFL career at 12-6, 64% completions in his career. He's not a gunslinger. He's not throw the ball up guy. He's not Matt Moore. He's not, I'm trying to think of another bad gunslinging quarterback. He's not Jay Cutler. Like, he's not that guy. That's not who Tua is at all. Like, you're not even close, bro. You're not even close. Jay Mill writes, Tua won in Foxborough in his 10th career start. He's 7-3 as a starter. I don't know. It looks like we're winning games with him, he says. Yeah, wow. So Justin writes in, Jameis is another gunslinging quarterback. Absolutely. And I'll give Jameis credit. On Sunday, he was real and he was spectacular. 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions. I mean, Jameis Winston cooked. He cooked the Green Bay Packers. But you know what's coming? At some point, he had the 5 touchdown game on Sunday. On some other Sunday, he's going to have the 3 or 4 interception game. Like, that's coming from him at some point. All right. It is an honor and a privilege to bring this man in. He is, I've spoken to him so many times. I used to have him on the Onside radio show pretty frequently. He's a contributor here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, but I do not believe we have had the privilege of bringing him yet onto Donno Daily. First time, way too long. Juan Cardona is with us of 5 Reasons Sports. Juan, it's so nice to see your beautiful face, sir, because when I used to bring you on, it was just audio. How are you, sir?
Yeah. Good, bro. How are you, dog?
I'm doing really, really well. And so let me start with you on Tua's performance, because I know, listen, you could be critical at times of Tagovailoa. Like, you're a straight shooter. Like, you don't have a pro Tua agenda. So what did you think of Tua against New England?
I think he had a very good game. I think he went through his reads. I think at the moment wasn't too big for him. I don't think there was ever really any time where the offense itself looked schematically wrong. Like, there were lack of ball.
I don't know about that connection. See, this is why we never have Juan on. No, I'm just kidding. We got to get reconnected. I feel like he was spitting some fire there. I feel like he was about to bring something strong. Anush writes in, the media hates Tua. Yeah, the media, they've dug in their heels into this anti-Tua trench so far that at this point, they've got to stick with it until they completely get burned, right? I mean, maybe the day is going to come. Like, can you imagine the opportunity? Like, week 5, this is an opportunity going up against a very good Buccaneers defense. But can you imagine if Tua is able to light it up and lead the Dolphins to a victory in Tampa Bay? Just allow me to dream here for a second. Allow me to fantasize. This is porn for me. I don't visit these adult sites. I fantasize about Dolphins victories. Can you imagine if Tua can go into Tampa Bay and outduel the GOAT, Tommy Brady? Then I think that's what it would take to get him some respect finally. I think that's what he would take. Everyone report musket fire for a misfire. There's nothing like, I understand that there are some great blogs out there, right? I read a lot of different blogs on the teams that I love, but I get annoyed to no end when some of these bloggers are just clearly so biased and so delusional. I mean, I read you a paragraph of that dude's blog on musket fire, and within a paragraph, you got him essentially saying the Dolphins didn't really win, or that what they did to win the game was impossible to repeat. It will never happen again. And that they don't have a quarterback and we have a quarterback, so we're happy and they shouldn't be happy. Like, that's loser moral victory mentality. I don't like it. It's an absolute loser mentality. The media hate is going too far, says Alfredo. Now they're sending Bills Fins to only 4% of the country. I did not know that. The rest of the U.S. gets the garbage Falcons getting drubbed by Tampa Bay. Man, I thought it was low in week 1, where they only sent our game with the Patriots to 15% of the country. So what you're telling me here is if 4% of the country, I would imagine that's basically just certain parts of Florida and certain parts of Western New York where the local fan bases are. and that's it. So like if you're in Orlando, you're going to be, well, definitely the people in Orlando are going to be watching the Bucks because they usually favor them on TV, like in Orlando, more than they would favor Miami. Juan is back. Juan, how are you, sir?
We good?
No, we sound good now, and I'm telling you, it's because it's taken so long to get you on. I feel like the football gods, they don't want to hear all the truth bombs that you're going to drop on the show. They were trying to sabotage the coverage. So you were talking about Tua. We lost you a little bit during that conversation. So you thought he had a good game. What did you think his weaknesses were? Obviously, the interception was a bad play. He says he was trying to throw it away, not trying to make something happen. But what did you think about some of the things Tua didn't do so well?
I mean, there's a good and the bad with Alabama Tua, right? I mean, he's gonna fight for every yard. He's gonna fight for every second to get you a perfect ball. And sometimes that does bite him in the butt, how we saw in the interception where he looked like he was trying to do too much and then eventually decided, okay, let me get it out of here and throw it out of bounds. And from my point of view, he just didn't have the arm necessary to get it out of bounds. But he was fine. Ultimately, it's not anything that I can blame on Tua. Anytime that the offense needed to respond after the Patriots got the lead in the second quarter, Tua leads them right back down the field. The very first drive, methodical. So when Tua has a plan and they're able to execute the plan, they're good. They're great. Next week with Fuller, another person that can get it in really from anywhere on the field, right? And they didn't even really allocate much time or game plan as far as like Gesicki either. So there's still a lot of options that are still to be played. I mean, hell, even Albert had only just the one target. So there's still a lot of growth from the offense where they can continue to make steps and continue to evolve. But it was a good first step. I would have liked them to stick more with the run and just kind of maybe use Ahmed a little more.
What did you think about some of the tricky nature of the way Tua was used, where you would take him off on occasion so Brissett could run the quarterback sneaks? With that, I'm actually fine with that because listen, Jacoby Brissett at 6'4", 240 pounds, compared to Tua, he's gigantic. Yeah. That guy gives you a higher percentage of converting a quarterback sneak than Tua does. And, a couple people said to me, well, then if you bring him on the field on 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches, everyone knows what's coming, but still good luck stopping it is the thing. Like, even if you know the quarterback sneak is coming.
And you can obviously play off of that too. You want to go ahead and go crazy to stop that 1 inch. All right, cool. We'll just throw a little slant or a little hitch or a little, bubble screen, whatever it is. I honestly, at first, when I first saw it, I was kind of annoyed about it. I'll be honest. Thinking about it, seeing it more, it's a creative way to get, a first down. Like, who am I to complain? If they want to do both times with Brissett, if they want to do a wildcat with Malcolm Brown, like, whatever gets the job done, man. Like, let's get the job done. Let's get this W. We're literally the only winning team in the AFC East. So as negative as I have sounded on social media, I am very positive about the outlook of the Dolphins right now.
Okay, you brought up Will Fuller. He was suspended week 1, PEDs dating back to last year. He did have some injuries throughout training camp, so he didn't work a whole lot, but he is a veteran. Like, if there's somebody who can miss some time and then make up for it pretty quickly, a guy with experience can. So how much do you think he's going to be used this week, Juan? Like, do you expect him to get a lot of snaps, or do you think we're going to see him sparingly?
I think we're going to hear all week about being coy and being careful and using him, sparingly from like the coaching staff. But it's going to be like Devontae Parker for me. It's going to be full go. Like, you're ready to go. Like, we probably kept you on ice longer than we needed to, but we just weren't risking it. And as we saw with Devontae, 4 catches, 81 yards, and looking like a number 1 receiver. I feel like we can get that type of impact from Will, just as far as just speed, because now you're looking at potentially replacing Albert with Will, and then we're talking about a completely different receiver right now.
You thought the Dolphins should have committed a little bit more to the running game. What did you think about what you saw? Because I do think, and Gaskin, limited reps, he was very productive with what he got. Ahmed had some good stuff as well. How bullish are you on the Dolphins running game this season?
I'm very bullish, especially from Ahmed. I don't think he'll maybe get the opportunity to completely take over for for Gaskin, but if there was ever an injury or something of the sort, and we give Ahmed 15, 20 touches as far as like splitting it, whatever, 10 or 10 carries or 10 and 10 passes, whatever it is, I really think Ahmed could be a good player in the league, man. And that speed really just changes everything when it comes to that offense, because we saw it yesterday with Gaskin. Gaskin would initially get, into the second level, but respectfully, he just didn't have the juice to do anything more with it. We saw Ahmed on like that pass where we throw it to him all the way at the end, all the way to the right, and Tua kind of missed him. But I do feel like they have a plan for Ahmed. I do feel like they have a plan for Gaskin. I feel like they have a plan for Malcolm Brown, and they're going to be situational guys, and it's literally just running back by committee.
What do you make of this question from Justin? He says, will they use Fuller and Waddle on the same side of the field? He says, I don't know what they've shown in Fuller's one practice. How do you expect that when he lines up?
They didn't show much about nobody is.
If anybody can bring out the positivity in Juan, it's me, because I'm always so I'm even going to have a positive spin on the Canes before we wrap it up. Well, no, I might be lying about. Okay. I might be lying about. Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see, because I do have something on them before I finish up the show today. But if anybody can bring up that positivity from Juan, it's me.
Facts. But Will Fuller and Waddle, nobody saw anything. I think there was like 2 plays before Fuller just kind of like sat it down. I think as far as what they'll do is, for sure, they're going to line them up on the same side of the field. They're going to have Waddle as the slot. They're going to move him around in motion just to kind of identify man, zone, whatever it may be. And they're going to have to adjust, because based off how we used them that first game, like, Waddle could be a PPR machine, bro. Like I would not be surprised a couple games where he's double digits in catches. And that's just me saying it because of the chemistry that he's built with Tua, and also just because the offense is really catered around him and the attention that he brings and what it does to the other guys.
Now, 2 more things for you, Juan. Give me your grades for Mac Jones. I thought it was an excellent debut. What was I know you're a big Mac Jones fan. What did you think?
If I'm grading on a curve because they didn't let him do much, I would probably say like A-. But just based off with everything, I'd probably say like a B+. I think he had an answer for everything. Like anytime they blitzed, besides for that one early on, and I think it was the first down after they had the 35-yard run. After that blitz, there wasn't a single blitz where he didn't know where it was coming from, and he didn't throw it to that same area. He consistently kept the team moving. They had 7 or 3 third and 2s or short. So they were definitely ahead of the chains the whole game. I kind of look at his game a little higher than most, because I can't blame the 2 fumbles by the running backs on him. Especially the last one, they were on the 13-yard line. So he was moving the team. And if without those fumbles, I don't know if we're so positive today,
Now, left tackle is an interesting position for the Dolphins. So, last week we had Austin Jackson miss practice on the COVID list all week. Then we were wondering, because he was cleared to play, he was cleared in time for game day. So we were wondering leading up to the game, is it going to be Jackson or maybe Greg Little, who was back up on the depth chart? They end up going with the rookie Liam Eichenberg, who wasn't working out at left tackle in camp, but he is a natural left tackle going back to Notre Dame. So he got the start. I thought he did pretty well. Brian Flores, he did endorse Austin Jackson. Yeah. He did say he is our starting left tackle. Obviously, I'm thinking the leash is still going to be pretty short here, Juan. So, I mean, is that a real endorsement, or was that just an endorsement that Flo had to give because anything else would just create too much press?
Honestly, I gotta honestly, I gotta say, I don't know. I think he's actually telling the truth here, because realistically for me, I've always gotten the feeling where Austin's has never had really much of a competition as far as left tackle. They kind of did present the position to him, and it was handed to him in sorts, and never kind of, had any competition for him. Maybe Liam starts to put that, that foot in the ass, but I think it's Austin's position to lose. Liam was interesting before week 1, was saying that he was more comfortable on the left side. So I found that curious. And, he had a good game. I mean, there was very few times where I'm like, damn, we got a rookie left tackle there. And it's like, you want that from a guy. And really, is it really more just so trying to get rid of, Jesse Davis off the field? Like what's the outcome with like potentially solidifying Austin Jackson as a left tackle? Are you saying, Liam, we're going to put you at right tackle now? Are we trying to get JC off? Like what's the plan? That's my like vision for the offense right now.
Well, good stuff here from Juan Cardona. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. It's at exclusivity, but mind the spelling because there's like a vowel missing in there. So exclusivity with no I after the V. And check out his work on 5 Reasons Sports. Are you working on anything specifically, Juan, this week? If you want to promote something that just came out or preview an upcoming drop?
I just dropped the first. I dropped it on Sunday night, and then Monday I dropped off Devontae Parker's All the Targets. That's on our YouTube for the Extra Yard. And then tonight we have our show that's every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:00. The Extra Yard is going to be on the 5 Reasons YouTube Sports Network YouTube page. And you can catch us there. You'll probably hear me ranting. You're probably going to hear Kai ranting, and then Michael trying to calm us down. So it'll be fun.
It's a great dynamic you guys have. Juan, thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, bro. Enjoyed it.
And by the way, I think I actually do agree with Alfredo. He says, nobody agrees with me on this, but I keep Liam at left tackle. He was actually good there. Let's train the first round guy, AJ, at right tackle. Austin Jackson being AJ. I need to see a little bit more. Like I think maybe Austin Jackson gets another chance with a short leash to be the starting left tackle. But honestly, not overly impressed with Jackson last year, even though he was snake bit. I've defended the guy before. I mean, last season got injured. I think he had COVID as well, and he was coming off giving bone marrow to his sister. And I understand the recovery from that is really, really rough, that it takes a while to be 100% after that. And that's an incredibly nice deed that he did to help save the life of a relative. That is awesome. I think anybody who has, the opportunity to donate bone marrow or even donate, an organ to a family member in need or a friend in need, you people are awesome. You're awesome for doing that. But Jackson also didn't look very good in preseason, had some rough patches in training camp. So I'm not completely sold. So like me co-signing on what Alfredo said, it maybe has as much to do with my doubts on Jackson as it does with how high I am. And I am high on Liam Eichenberg. But yeah, and Justin says what Alf said works too. Ryan writes in, with Tua being lefty, doesn't it make more sense to have the more talented guy on the right side? Well, it's more complicated than that though, because like in the case of Liam Eichenberg, to me, switching sides is not easy. Like he is a natural left tackle. That's his most comfortable position. That's where he played at Notre Dame. So, I mean, you can say he's the more talented guy. First of all, I don't know if he is, because Austin Jackson, you would say he was the more talented guy because he was drafted in the first round and Liam Eichenberg was not, right? And with Liam Eichenberg, I like him natural position being left tackle. So I don't know. What Alf is saying makes sense to me. Yeah, I promised that before we would wrap up this episode, I would have something positive to say about the Miami Hurricanes. Very disappointing, even at victory, 25-23 over Appalachian State. They were a bit of a mess, was Miami. I mean, I never thought we would need a game-winning field goal at home to beat a team like that. But you know what? They did lose to FIU a couple of years ago, so I guess anything is possible with the Hurricanes of this century compared to the ones of the 20th century and the first couple of years of the 21st century. But I see people bitching and moaning that Miami only dropped 2 spots in the AP rankings that came out yesterday. They dropped from number 22 to number 24. First of all, like, they did win the game. Let's not forget that. Like, you're only going to drop so far when you do win. An L, like what happened to Florida State, not that they were ranked, but if Miami, God forbid, had actually lost that game, yeah, they would have completely dropped out of the top 25. And the other thing is, honestly, for saving that cat, just for that alone, you deserve to stay ranked. And I wish I'd come up with that, but I did steal that line from Roman from the Orange Bowl Boys show. He tweeted that out today, and I laughed my ass off. Just for saving that cat, the couple that saved that cat with the American flag, just for that happening in your stadium and Hurricanes fans doing that, you deserve to stay ranked. But listen, these things work themselves out. If Miami looks good and beats Michigan State this weekend, they'll probably go up a couple of spots in the rankings. If they lose to Michigan State, and some people are expecting that after the performance against App State, I think Miami is going to look better against Michigan State. I'm hoping that what happened against App State was a wake-up call. And also, let's not forget, it's another home game. and it's a noon game. Them boys from Michigan will not be prepared for that high noon South Florida heat. The Appalachian State was a night game. We let them off the hook there. 12 noon at Hard Rock Stadium. A bunch of dudes from the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio. That's the states where most of these guys play in. Pennsylvania. That's where most of these Michigan State guys are from. That's a whole different animal. Like I think Miami, I'm not saying they're going to look great doing it, but I think Miami is going to beat Michigan State, even though a lot of people are picking an upset there. And then, they'll probably move up a couple spots in the rankings. And if they lose, they're going to be out of the top 25. They're going to be out if they lose. So those who are angry that Miami is still in the top 25 after escaping against Appalachian State, these things are going to work themselves out. Not to mention the only ranking that really matters at the end of the day is the college football playoff ranking, and that has not even come out yet. So got a lot of thank yous today. Huge thanks to everyone who's been active in the chat. I want to try and shout out a few people. I always fail miserably because I can't scroll fast enough and I get confused. Justin, Ryan, Alfredo, Rafa in Miami, Bangkok Bill, which is a great name. If you're actually from Bangkok, that's even cooler. Even if you're not, it's a cool name. Who else we got in here? Anuj, thank you for joining in. Bishop Sycamore's Finest. That's one of my favorites. Amazing name. J Mill, Justin, David, Ricky J. Mark was in. Thank you. Andrew Green, and thank you for the super chat donation as well, Andrew. Another Justin, Chris Adams, thank you so much. Gabriel, thank you so much for hopping in. That's my dude from Twitter, buddy of mine. We've been conversing for many years on the Twitter machine. Georgia Kane fan. Brooklyn Rob hopped in. That's the guy who always calls me the mush. I did win my Monday Night Football bet, though, last night. I could not mush. So thank you so much. Ninja Viking as well. I think I've hit most of the people that I've seen in there. Thank you so much for partaking in the live chat. And be sure, if you haven't done, I like Alfredo on my pasta. Fortnite Vids, that's another one. Thank you so much for hopping in. That's not really authentic Italian, the Alfredo sauce. Maybe there's one specific restaurant where somebody got it and it became an Americanized thing. But if you actually go to Italy, you're not gonna look at a menu at an Italian restaurant in the motherland and see Alfredo pasta. Unfortunately, it's a myth. It's like I'm sure General Tso's chicken. I don't think you can get that in China. You can't get Alfredo pasta just anywhere in Italy. John 83, thank you for hopping in as well. Make sure, whether you're watching us live or you watch us later on replay, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. Huge shout out to Juan Cardona who got in, and I always love it. Even if the connection was a little bit rough at first, we fixed it. So it's like a great ending. We had a rough beginning, kind of like the Vegas Raiders last night. It was a rough start, and then we stuck the landing. We won the game in overtime with Juan Cardona. He was awesome. And Brady Hawk, who joins us every Tuesday to talk a little Heat basketball, he was fantastic as well. We're going to get Jakari Givens on tomorrow to talk some Miami Hurricanes and some Miami Dolphins. We'll talk some football with Jakari. He's going to join us tomorrow. That is going to be fantastic. And Big John Studd is going to join us tomorrow to talk some Dolphins as well. So it's going to be a big Wednesday football show coming up here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you guys are patronizing our sponsors because without them and without you guys, Donno Daily would not be possible. Our official sports book, BetUS.com. I think I have 5 live Champions League bets today, so I'm going all in. I love betting on international soccer, and I love betting on the National Football League. We won our bet on the Vegas Raiders last night. Thank you so much to Zay Jones and Derek Carr for making that a possibility. Oh, Ray Grullon, hello in the chat as well. Guys, if you want to get in on the action, because we have so much fun during football season and all year round if you're like me, but so much fun during football season betting on games at BetUS.com. They are the official sports book of Donno Daily. They are known as America's favorite sports book. Why are they known as America's favorite sports book? A couple of huge reasons, guys. Their customer service is second to none. If ever you're having any issue, even if your issue might be, I just don't understand, what's a teaser, what's a parlay, I need some help. You can reach someone 24 hours a day on either a live chat or a 1-800 number to help you through the process. If you have any problems with your account, troubleshooting, they help you for that as well. The customer service at BetUS.com is second to none. They've got the best bonuses in the business to keep you playing longer, like our bonus, by the way. When you sign up at BetUS using our promo code 5RSN125, they will give you a 125% sign-up bonus with your deposit. So if you deposit with a credit card $100, they will give you on top of that $125 in free play money. If you deposit with crypto, I'm a big crypto head. If you deposit with crypto, they will give you a 200% bonus on your deposit. How good is that? And the other reason why BetUS is America's favorite sportsbook is they have odds on anything you can imagine. Yeah, they have the NFL, they have soccer, college football, the NBA, NHL, all that good stuff, PGA, UFC, boxing, but they also have odds on pop culture, horse races. I have bet college lacrosse games on BetUS.com before. You will find everything. BetUS.com. Use our code 5RSN125 for a 125% sign-up bonus. And all football season long, make sure you're checking out the great folks at the Quarter Deck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The food is so delicious, guys. I had the French dip sandwich the last time I went. I'm going to be going there to see Frank Zaffrey next week, and I'm going to get the All-American burger. It is so delicious. I get it cooked medium, tater tots on the side. Oh, you can get tater tots on the side, curly fries, sweet potato fries, mac and cheese. They have so many options at the Quarter Deck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The seafood is delicious, guys. It is right out of the ocean. The sushi, build your own poke bowl, oysters, Maine lobster, fresh fish. The buffalo shrimp is to die for. And during football season, they've got great deals. They have 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day at the Quarter Deck. That never ends. And they've got the ice cold buckets, 5 for $15 ice cold buckets, Heineken family of beers, high noon hard seltzer, mix and match them to your heart's content and knock down some cold ones while you're watching the games on the big screens on Saturdays and on Sundays. And you can catch every UFC pay-per-view fight at the Quarter Deck for zero cover charge. If you want to peep their menu before you go, or you want to find the location nearest to you, visit quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarter Deck, come for the food, stay for the fun. Oh, man. So they're already, we mentioned we're going to be talking more Canes tomorrow. They're already ripping Manny Diaz in the chat. But thank you, David, for the compliment on the show. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody who joined in today. And thank you to Manny Chang behind the scenes. We had to suspend Sean Stanley again for trying to give out bad gambling advice. He is going to be back with us tomorrow. So we'll have Sean and Manny. We'll have the full crew and a couple of great guests talking football with us. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.